Good morning, everyone. How is everyone this morning? On a sunny day. It's amazing. Can't believe the weather is so good. Let me just check that it's gone live on here. Yes, it has. So that's good. Gosh, this time last year I was digging up tree roots. And surprise, surprise, they've come up again. Yeah, before I was making things with strawberries. And we've almost got our first strawberry. Yay! Well, we've got more than one strawberry. It's just we've almost got our first red strawberry, which is amazing. So, everything's back to normal following the bank holiday. Quick bit of housekeeping. My name is Liz. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. You may know me as Old Stables Crafts as well. If you're in the UK and want to... Morning, Judith. Sunny in Pevensey. Good. If you're in the UK and want any Stampin' Up products, I would love to show you my customer support, customer service. That's the word I'm looking for. And if you want lots of Stampin' Up products, of course, the best deal is always to buy the starter kit. Although the Join Plus offer has just finished. So the next time there will be an offer will be August. Yes, in the second celebration. So you may have seen my whiz through of the discounts in the new retiring mini catalogue. They will be available from 7 o'clock UK time this evening. So get that list sorted out and then go and have a look at getting them before they sell out. Hello, Lorna. I'm a lot better than I was. I'm not 100% yet. Just trust me to get an ear infection at the beginning of a bank holiday weekend. Morning, Claire. But I have to say, we have an amazing out-of-hours GP practice at Abingdon Community Hospital. So I rang 111 and they booked me in to see someone there. And I'm now on antibiotics and a steroid nasal spray, which is beginning to sort itself out, but I'm still a bit delicate. I slept better last night, which always helps. So I am playing today with the Snail Mail bundle before it goes. So let me bring it up. It's on page 54. I'll just get page 54 up and then I will flip you down. So let me do that. Where are we? We're there. My brain's not quite with me yet, but we're getting there. There we go. I'm a lot better, thank you, Wendy. I hope you're not too bad after your second COVID jab. I know the first one knocked you out. So, page 54 and 55 is where you will find Snail Mail. The stamp set has been reduced by 25%. The dies haven't been reduced, but... so yes, you probably want to get the two bits separately. The paper hasn't been reduced either. That tends to tell me that there's not a huge amount left in stock. The larger reductions tend to be when when there's lots left. So the fact that there aren't any amazingly huge reductions other than on the stamp set tends to make me feel that this is low inventory. So as I say, the reduced prices will be from 7 o'clock this evening. You think you got away with it? Not even a sore arm. Excellent. Yeah, my arm was fine. Slightly uncomfortable a couple of days after. And I felt a little bit tired immediately after. But, I mean, I say immediately after, the day after, but I certainly didn't take to my bed. Need some water. Loving this weather, apart from the fact I've got quite a lot of work to do, which means I'm going to be inside. Never mind. So I have got two projects to share with you today. The first one is based on this one, but we're going to change it a little bit. So this is just stamping and a bit of Stampin' Right marker work with some of the resin hearts. Now the resin hearts are reduced by 50%, so if you want white and real red resin hearts, then half price is a really good price. So let's start with that one. I've got a slightly dirty grid paper. Sorry, my brain really isn't with us, because I'm going to be using blending brushes. So I do need that, and I will also need, no, it's not that one I need. No, it's, where is it? No, it is that one I need. It just looks odd. Hello, Jan from Florida. Gosh, early in the morning for you. So I need this stamp in the block, and I will need this stamp and a block. And I have already fussy cut a mask that goes with that stamp. Now I have not fussy cut round every last little bit of the design, because those leaves are so small. A little bit of extra colour is not a bad idea. Morning Deborah, morning Audrey, morning Bee. It's a lovely morning, isn't it? Long may it continue. So, Memento ink, because we're going to be using blends. I'm using very different colours for this one. So I'm not using the bright colours that I used for the first version. So I'm going to come up a little bit more. So this is just a piece of white card. I am almost at the point where I'm on basic white, and I've got a whole load of basic white arriving because I ran out. Well, I think I've got one pack, so I'm all but run out. So I'm just going to cover this stamped image with my little mask. This is just post-it note paper. I happen to have some that's sticky all over, but post-it note will work just as well. Just be careful when you start blending that you don't scoop up. So on my original, I used Balmy Blue and Pear Pizzazz. I'm going to stick with Balmy Blue, which I thought I'd got out. I have. But I'm going to change to soft Seafoam, because I'm changing the colouring that I'm doing. So soft Seafoam first, and I've got my green brush, which is fine. I always like to just give them a bit of a clean. One of these microfiber, that's the word I'm looking for, cloths is really good for cleaning them off. So just pick up a small amount of the ink, possibly a little more than that. It's a very pale colour, so but I want this one to be pale. It is going on, it's not very obvious, but it is going on. So we have liftoff. So I just want it to come across a little bit. I don't want it to go all the way across, but a little bit would be good. And then just bring it up a little bit behind the toadstools. I just want to make sure it's a little darker at the bottom. Balmy Blue is a brilliant blue. Hi Renee. Balmy Blue is good for all sorts of things, and I love it. It's a really good sky blue. So to clean off my brush again, just on a microfiber cloth, it's stained as opposed to anything else. So that's my green, and then Balmy Blue. Let me find my blue brush. There we are. And I've just tied ribbon. This is retired now, but I've just tied ribbon around so I know which colour is which, because I just have a different brush for each of the kind of main colours. So I've got an aqua, a yellow, sort of purpley, those sorts of things. So this was the last ink that I used on this brush anyway. So, ooh, just notice that that's a little bit too far to the left. Doesn't matter for what I've put down already, but I could see the white from the stem of that toadstool. So just add a little bit of balmy blue. Now, because we're going, looking forward to Saturday. Yes, so am I. I've got a little bit of work still to do. That's my team retreat, for those of you who don't know. So normally I would say come in from the side. Because I've got this mask, I can actually start on the mask. And the only reason I do that is because if you start somewhere, you can end up with a splodge. So just make sure you don't start in the middle of your project, because you could end up with a splodge. And we don't want a splodge, we want a blend. And that's probably all I need. I just want it to be really soft. So that's for that. So we can now take this off. Now I would always say do your blending before you do your colouring, because then if you need to redo your stamping, you haven't spent all that time colouring it. Just in case. I hope those of you who are on my team and are joining Saturday's thing, I hope you've all received your boxes by now. I've heard from most of you, and I think I've heard from everyone who's on. So let's just have a look at that. So that's what we've got. So it's very definitely that area's white. Now I know this is not, but we're going to colour it. So I brought out darks, both soft sea foams. Well, for some reason I'd only got the dark. And I'm going to use the dark one for the leaves. And it's covering quite nicely the balmy blue. I mean, it's good enough that it's obviously a blue, a green rather. So the balmy blue is not causing too much of an issue, whereas if it was a darker blue, obviously it would. So just really easy block colouring for that. And then I did notice I'd done a bit of a boo-boo, so I have cut in my mask this gap here, but I didn't cut that gap there. But we can do that without any problem at all, just with a little bit of the light balmy, light soft sea foam. You seem to have pulled up well after your second. I have, thank you, Deborah. Yes, my second COVID jab was not an issue. The ear infection that I have currently got is an issue, but the COVID jab wasn't. Somehow I've managed to pick up an ear infection. This is dark petal pink. So we are going for very much the pastel shades this time. So just so you can see it, this is the one that I made earlier, as they say. So I just needed to check. I'm waiting for something to come through. So very rudely, I just checked. Then I'm going to do stripes on, actually no, I'm going to do yellow. So for the inside of the toadstool, I'm going to leave the white. I'm going to come in with the pale petal pink underneath, just so there's a different colour. I used dark crumb cake before, so this was Poppy Parade rather than real red, which is why I didn't use the real red hearts. And then for the stems of the fungi, I'm going to use ivory, which is the ivory and bronze. Arrived in time for your birthday and your cream tea, yay! I have got your card and vouchers, thank you, Wendy, yes. I have placed the order. I've had a flurry. It's nothing quite like saying to people, please send in your cards and vouchers, and in they come. I've spent most of my crafting day today colouring. I find it relaxing. I do as well. Relaxing, Deborah, is colouring is very relaxing, Deborah. But yes, the last time I had an ear infection, as far as I can remember, was before I had my tonsils out. And I had my tonsils out when I was about 4 or 5. So it's been a while. But there we go. Right, so I'm going to do So Saffron for the other toadstools. As I say, we're going for definitely pastel shades here. And I'm just going to alternate dark and light. Actually, I might come dark underneath on that one. And then I'll do light on everything else. So it's really just, this is just to show you how you can completely change the look of a stamp set just by changing the colours that you use. So definitely different. Right, so for the snail, again, I need to stamp that in Memento. And I've got this scrap, or scraps apparently, so I can do that on. It's not working. Sorry, Lorna, I love that. Oh, classic. Children out of the mouths of babes, eh? Right. Baby whatnot. And the die. There are some amazing, amazing bargains coming up at 7 o'clock. So yes, please have a look at my video where I did the walkthrough. That happened last week, so it's on my website, not my website, on my YouTube channel. If you don't already subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's a great way of 7 o'clock today, B. It's a great way of making sure that you don't miss any of my videos, particularly if you subscribe. Sorry, if you hit the alert bell. So yes, 7 o'clock this evening is when the discounts start. So I would suggest, if you've got a copy of the mini, sit down with a cup of coffee and the video that I did and just work through it. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not seeing for looking. Right, so I'm going to start by colouring my snail body, and I'm going to actually I'm going to do soft So Saffron, dark So Saffron stripes, I think. So I'm using a very, very limited number of blends. So this is 4 combos, because the ivory comes with the bronze. And the great thing about having the blends is once you've got them, They last for such a long time. So long as you store them horizontally and don't leave them in the sun with the caps off. Morning, Priscilla. Morning, Margaret. So yes, so long as you treat them properly, they'll last for a long time. And bearing in mind that this is my job, as it were. Well, not as it were. This is my job. This set I bought before we started the lockdown, because I bought myself a replacement set so that I could use blends at classes. So I kept my other set for class, and then of course we went into lockdown. So I've had these over a year, and I just keep them in my blend storage, which we sell, storage specifically. The specials don't seem to have started in Australia yet. I've just had a look. Maybe it starts tomorrow morning for us. I think it starts today, Deborah, but it's a funny time of day. I thought it started first thing this morning here, but it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock in the evening for us. So 8 o'clock European time, which is what we work on. See you later, Jan. Enjoy it later. Hope work goes well. So yes, Deborah, have a look at the updates. If you go to, are you a demo? In fact, what time is it with you at the moment? Because I think it's going live at 8 o'clock in all markets. And I think by 8 o'clock in all markets, I mean, so it's 8 o'clock for Australia, 8 o'clock for the US, etc., etc. But it's 8 o'clock as at their head office, their local head office. So I think for you it would be 8 o'clock Sydney time. And I'm not sure what time it is, but I don't know, I'm guessing. But certainly for the UK and Europe, it's 8 o'clock Central European time, which is 7 o'clock UK time, evening. So just adding a bit more of this. Oh, it's 8:22. Okay, don't know then, I'm afraid. But are you, is it 8:22 in Sydney? Because I know you have different times like we do, different time zones. But so you can go and have a look on the demo website. If you go to Happening Now and Promotions, it should tell you there. Who knows why icons come up, Deborah? That'll be YouTube for you. So just blending that out. Ooh, I missed a bit. I missed a bit there. So yes, Happening Now, Promotions, and it should show there. Hello, Pam. Hope you're well on this gloriously sunny day. Right, so that's the body done. Now for the shell, for the slimy bit, I'm going to go ivory. Swap to the thicker end. See you later, Claire. Have a good day. Ooh. Now I'm going to come back in a minute and build up some colour. Just been watering your strawberries. I must do that. I watered my flower bed first thing this morning because everything was looking a little sad. But I do need to do my strawberries. I need to straw up my strawberries. Right, so to get a darker area at the base here where the dots are, you can just add more of your blend. What you want to do is add it, leave it to dry, add it, leave it to dry, and it will build up a darker, a more intense colour. Not that ivory is an intense colour, but if you see what I mean. So let us let's go So Saffron for the prezzies. I'll have one in So Saffron and one in Petal Pink. And can you see where I've got this shading now? Just by adding more colour. So I can then bring that along a bit. So it's the same colour. I'm just adding more of it. Right, okay, so now all we've got to do is put it together. So there's our base. This needs some dimensionals. And a couple of small ones. They obviously thought about dimensionals when they were doing the die cut, because the eye is just the right size to put a mini dimensional behind. So, all good. Slimy bit. Well, it is the slimy bit. In fact, the whole thing's slimy. Not a great fan of slugs and snails because they tend to eat the things we're trying to grow, including strawberries. Oops. No. Right, so this just pops kind of, yeah, there-ish. And then I've got my white card base. So this is just half a sheet of cardstock scored in the middle. The snail is not in the new catalogue, it's not carrying over. And certainly in the UK. Now it's going to be different in each market. Hi Jenny. So Deborah, it's going to be different in each market. The reductions will vary depending on which market you're in, because it will be dependent on how much stock there is. So the stamp set is only 25% off in Europe. Certainly the English set. I've not looked at the foreign language sets. And don't normally use liquid glue on white cardstock, but never mind. And the dies aren't reduced at all, but I'm guessing that's, nor is the paper, but I'm guessing that is because there's not much left. So he should be, he's certainly going, and you may find that he's discounted in South Pacific. So there we are, that's the two. I'm just going to add some resin hearts because I've got some left, so I might as well use them up. So again, I'm going to add 3. You know me and my 3s, so I'm going to add 1 on top of that shape there. Scoot it down a bit. There we go. And then 1 up there. So basically I'm putting them in the same place again as I put them for the first card. So they're very subtle because they're white on white. Hate slugs and snails, but they're good for the food chain. Yes, I know, but they're really bad for my food chain. He is rather lovely. What I would say, Deborah, is as you are a demo, check to see if there's a discount. If there is, just get on it the moment it goes live. And if not, you might as well get it. And when I say when it goes live, I mean when the discount goes live. If he's not discounted in South Pacific, you might as well get him straight away. Sorry, I've got a bit of glue there. So there are our two very different, I mean, they are obviously the same, but they are very different. So that's that one. Now the next one I've got, next implies that there's more than one more. The other one, that's the word I'm looking for, I've got, uses Bright, Bright, Bright. And I've already done die cutting for this, and basically it's just die cutting. So I've got a half sheet of Daffodil Delight, because that is the yellow that's in the paper. This is one of the designer series papers. So where is my seal? There we are. Might have to change the filler because it's getting close to the edge, or end I should say. So just add some all the way around the corners and the sides. Corners are what matters. Hello Sharon. And I love that the designer series paper kind of makes you use colours you wouldn't otherwise use. So I could use that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to go really bright. Ooh. So the measurements are 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and this I think is 1/4 of an inch smaller. Yes, on 2 edges. So 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. There we go. And this is the paper that I think works really well with the new stamp set called, can't remember. Sweet Farewell. And the reason I think it goes well is because of that. So if you want paper to go with that, this is a really good one to go for, because the Bermuda Bay's got that dotty line, and then this has got the paper aeroplane. Right, so I'm going to add this piece of designer series paper across the middle, and I'm going to do that with seal. So I want this end to be right at the edge, and then this end will be slightly inside the edge, and the reason for that is purely so that I end up with whole snails, because however much I don't particularly like snails in my garden, I definitely don't want to end up with half a snail. So we've got Adelaide and Melbourne here, and wherever Deborah's from, because Deborah is also South Pacific, well, Australia. Right, so I'm just going to line this up on my grid paper so I get this straight, which will be about there. Press that down, and I like to trim from the back, because that's just the way I rock and roll. Queensland. Is it cold in Australia? I never think of cold and Australia. Hello, Margaret. So this is then going to pop on here, cover up most of the snails. And then I'm going to have these two chappies there. And I've got a little vellum envelope. This is one of the dies. So I've got a little vellum envelope, and then one of the other dies is to do this little sort of postage stamp. And I thought I'd have that just poking out there, and then I can put glue behind my vellum without too much of a problem. And I'm going to stick all this together with a glue dot, and then put resin hearts over the top. Oh, everyone's comparing notes on where people in Australia and New Zealand live. That's good. So I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals, just to give everything a bit of dimension, strangely. Now, because it's paper, I'm going to use more than I would normally use. I'm not going to stick it down yet. So I want that there. Then I'm going to have this one here because he's bigger, and that one there because he's smaller. So this one I just need to, actually I'm going to use glue. So I'll have a bit of glue there. And how far over is he going to go? About yay far. About yay far. And pick that up, pop him on there. And then I'll pop another dimensional on him in a moment when I've done this chappy, which is going to go there. So again, just going to add some adhesive to the right side this time. Right side this time is what I'm trying to say. -6 degrees. Wow. I didn't know you had minus. Whoa. Good heavens. I always thought that even in South Australia, you didn't have freezing temperatures. Shows what I know. Of course, I suppose if you're up a mountain, that might make a difference. So I'm sticking my dimensional so it's slightly over both bits, predominantly over the back of the snail, but also holding everything together. Then that can go on there for the moment. And then take my backings off and pop this in place. So it's vaguely straight. And then this I'm going to stick, as I say, I'm going to stick this together with glue dots. So, ooh, managed to remove a glue dot without removing the one next to it. That's clever. So it's of course got cat fur on it. So I'm going to fold this into a smaller size, and then actually I'll pop it in there, I think. Ooh, come on, play the game. Thank you. Pop that in there, and then I'll have another little glue dot under that, and then because it's embossed, it's got this stitching, it's not showing through as badly as it would otherwise. So that's that. This will pop in here as if it's writing. So I'll stick that on with seal, which hopefully will be strong enough. Vellum is a bit tricksy. 7th wedding anniversary. Yay! Happy anniversary. Your friend's bird bath was frozen. Good heavens. Right, so because I'm using the paper, I can use real red this time for my resin heart, which I'm going to pop just there. And then I'm going to pop, actually I'm going to use Seal Plus for this because I definitely don't want it coming off the front. And Seal Plus is that little bit, oh I shouldn't have done that, never mind, it'll be fine, it's behind layers. Seal Plus is definitely stronger than Seal. So we've got one little jobby there. We could have another, whoops, another one there, and then cover up the heart that's printed with another one. There we go. Now this is going to need a liner, so let me grab aforementioned one liner, and oh no, we'll use this one. So I'm just going to use the this to come in just there. Those envelopes are so cute, Priscilla. And then just pop this on with some seal. I'm not going to colour the inside, you can, but I'm not going to. If you are going to colour the inside, having stamped, and you're using white card, whether it's the thick or the standard white card, please, please, please don't use blends. Because if I colour this, it's going to bleed through, which is fine, when it's a separate piece, but if you stamp onto the, that's almost straight, if I were to stamp onto the card base and then colour, it would bleed through to the back, which is not a good look. So there we are. Those are our 2 cards for today. So this is the one that I used first to inspire my first one. I made this one yesterday while I was playing. Let's see if I can get them all. I can cover up the tops of those, can't I? So that's the 2 versions, the bright version and the subtle version, and then I made these 2. And again, I've used the same strip of Designer Series paper. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Do remember that if you haven't already subscribed, you can do that by clicking the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. You may also want to subscribe to my newsletter, which you can do over on my website. You can subscribe to my website, but also to my newsletter. I am about to launch, in fact I think I already have, can't remember. So for those of you who are not in the UK who want any of my tutorials, those either are or are about to be made available on my website, so you can buy the tutorial which gives you access to the videos and the cutting guide. I don't think I have done them all yet because I've got to redo the tutorials to include American sizes, but they will be coming, so do keep an eye on that and I will announce it on my newsletter. So glad you've enjoyed it. See some of you on Saturday, and do remember that the sale, certainly in Europe, the sale for the new mini catalogue goes live at 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Central European time. Other markets will have other go live times and also other discounts, so it is per market, but do make the most of it. Some of the discounts are jaw-dropping. I mean, there's half price on quite a few things, certainly in Europe, so do have a look at those. Thank you very much indeed. Have a fantastic day. I will just say farewell properly by actually coming up and saying farewell, because I like to say farewell properly. Have a fantastic day, night, evening, morning, whatever. I hope the weather is not too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry. And I will see you now. I'm not going to be live on Thursday because I've got some stuff to do for my father's estate. And I won't be live on Saturday, but I will have videos that go live at the time I would normally be live. So the next live for me will be this time next week. So I will see you then. Have a great time and see you soon. Thank you very much.